Welcome back to Painted Kids, and this is Jessica. Now, in honor of the LEGO 2 movie dropping this week, we are going to be drawing Unikitty. But the great thing about this Unikitty is it's a complete redesign. That's right, the LEGO movie took the opportunity to really just reinvent Unikitty and really show the inner power that this cuddly little creature has. So what you'll need today is a piece of paper, a pencil, marker, and colored pencils, crayons, markers, even paint, whatever you want to color with at the end. It is completely up to you. So let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is the Unikitty's head, and it's just a big rectangle. Unikitty comes from one of the sets that is actually meant for younger kids. So the shapes we're going to be making today are going to be super simple. And with this Unikitty, instead of making her all sweet and cuddly, we're going to make her kind of how she is in the most recent LEGO movie, where she's a little bit more fierce. She has a little bit more anger within her that she releases that we got to kind of get a glimpse at in the first one, but in this second one it really comes out a lot more. So for our ear, it's just a triangle shape with a little bit more of like a platform at the bottom. So we're going to do one vertical line and then another vertical line and then a slanted line, and we want one of those lines on the outside to be longer than the inner ones. And then we do two vertical lines and then one horizontal, and then two vertical lines a little bit more outward, and then two long horizontals, and then two verticals, and then a horizontal. And that's just the base of her unicorn horn. Now with the actual horn itself, what we're going to do is kind of how we did with the ears, where we have two vertical lines and one is going to be longer than the other, and then a slanted horizontal line, and you just go all the way up, and there's going to be 5 tiers to the actual unicorn horn. The 3 rectangular shapes at the bottom are more of the actual base of her armor that she wears in the new movie. So now we're going to be doing just a line at the top and a line at the bottom. One's for her face, and that top one there again is for her armor that she kind of has in the second movie. And the next thing that we're going to do, so we're drawing her neck now, and we're going to have a rectangle right at the top there that's kind of thin, and then a bigger rectangle underneath that's a little bit shorter, and it's going to kind of have a curved bottom. So now we're just going to draw a straight line down right in the middle of that neck there, and then we're going to be putting 2 angled lines at the bottom, and then 1 line all the way up. And then for that inner leg line, we're going to bring it up and around like a rainbow, and that's going to connect to her back leg. And then at the bottom of that leg, we're going to do those 2 little angled lines there, and then a line just straight up because it disappears within that curve, and then another straight line right along there. And then we're going to connect the 2 points, and then we're going to connect the 2 back points here. And then we're going to do another straight line following that same line that we already did. And now we're going to do the little LEGO nub that Unikitty has. That's just a line down with a little curved line at the bottom, and then a tiny itty bitty picking curved line at the top there. And then we just do a angled line following that long line, and then connecting it to the corner, and then doing an angled line toward the back. And that's going to be where her tail connects. Now I'm going to put the little details on her, and those are just 2 angled lines, and you're just going to follow the same direction that the bottom of your feet took, because we're really giving this the illusion of a 3D LEGO figure. So we want all these angles to be consistent, so that way it feels more like a 3-dimensional object. So now we're going to do the tail, and we just curve up, and then we're going to curve back down, and then we're just going to flick it up just like that, and then we're going to bring it down and curve it back up and connect it and stop it right where our LEGO figure ends. And then we're just going to do a angled straight line right at the top of the tail there, and then a little curved line at the top, and that's what's going to make it feel like it's plastic and 3-dimensional. Now Unikitty in this one has a lot of anger coming out of her, so she has a lot of flame details on her actual character, and you just go around and then in, and then around and in, and you're just following the same shape that you made with the tail. And wherever you want to put a flame, you just bring it around and then in and then bring it back up and then curve it back around. And same with the details on her legs. So we're gonna go up, down, up, down. And I'm changing the heights of my flames so that way it gives the illusion that it's flame, and we don't want them all the same height. We want it to make it look like fire. And now that I'm done with the body of my Unikitty, we're gonna get started on her face. And she kind of has this like triangle accessory attached to her armor at the top. And then we're gonna just put 6 circles right in that band, make it feel like it's made out of metal and it's, you know, nothing dainty, it's armor. And now that we're done with her armor headdress, we're going to now move to Unikitty's eyes. And they're very simple. We just want to do 2 angled lines, almost like angry slants. And this is going to be the top of her eyes. And then after we get these slants in, and they're pretty big, we want it to take up most of her face, we're going to put our little half circles in here. And we want to make a nice big half circle so that way we have room to put her iris and her pupil all on this inside of it here. And just do the same thing to the other eye. And now that we're finishing up our other eye here, and I'm bringing my half circle really all the way to the top, just really make it look very, very angry. And now what I'm going to be doing is putting just some light lines that show where her cheeks are, and then 2 circles on each of her cheeks. And now I'm going to do the inside of the eye, and I'm just doing a smaller half circle, and that's going to be the outmost part of my iris. And then once I'm done with the iris, I'm going to do a smaller half circle on the inside there to show where the pupil is. And then once I have my pupils all done, I'm going to do an even smaller little half circle on the inside and then a triangle for her nose. And the reason I do the even smaller circle on the inside is that's where I'm going to be doing my highlight. And then I just do a line down to show that little crease that cats have in their lip, and then an angled kind of frown with just a tiny little mark to show that her cheek is actually moving. And then just a light line across the nose to show the bottom of the face, and then just a couple eyelashes. And now I'm doing her eyebrows, and her eyebrows in this movie are very zigzag with this facial expression to really just make her feel overall really frustrated and angry. So the very last thing that I'm going to draw are, I believe that it's just supposed to be little armor on her tail, or just some detail to make her look kind of intimidating. And there's just 2 little bumps on her tail. Almost looks kind of like dinosaur scales. And now that I'm completely done with my line drawing, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab my marker, and we're gonna just start outlining our character. Now, if you really are a huge fan of Unikitty, but you're not quite ready to take on drawing her yourself, you can go to our Patreon account, and we have a coloring page for our angry Unikitty, and it's completely free, and you just click on it and download it. So no matter where you are in your skill set, if you want to color and follow along, you go right ahead, and there will be a link in the description below. And on our Patreon account, we have plenty of other coloring page options, and one of those options is actually Rex Danger Vest, and that is another LEGO Movie 2 character. So if you're not a huge fan of Unikitty, but you're a huge fan of Rex, go on over to our Patreon account and you can print off a free Rex Danger Vest coloring page. So now that I am completely done with my Unikitty drawing, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to color my Unikitty. Now, this Unikitty is very different from the first Unikitty that we have come to know and love. This one is a lot more fierce. So the color palette is going to be completely different. We're going to be working with a lot of oranges and browns and some grays. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab this image and I'm going to put it into my Photoshop, and I'm going to paint this digitally. Now don't worry, I'm going to show you the colors that I used and kind of point them out. But if you don't want to do it that way, you can always just pull up a picture of Unikitty and color it yourself. So here is my completed Unikitty. So the main colors I used for her was orange, a mustard yellow, a brighter yellow, and some brown for the inside of her legs and the little bumps on her back, and of course gray for her metal headdress. So if you like doing this Unikitty with us, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, let us know that you liked it, because Unikitty has a lot of different looks and a lot of other fun facial expressions. So if you like this one, then maybe we'll make some more. And don't forget to check out our Patreon account. The link will be in the description below. There you'll be able to find this coloring page of Angry Unikitty, but also you'll be able to find a coloring page of Rex Danger Vest and many more of our wonderful characters. Now, if you'd like a chance to be featured on one of our next videos, then go ahead and submit your Unikitty artwork to any of our social media platforms, which are also linked in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and we'll see you next time.